Hello and welcome to this BBC World Service Facebook Live. My name is Kasia Madeira. I'm a television news presenter. You'll know me from programmes like Newsday and GMT. Today, this is about the World Service, and we're here to get behind the scenes and give you a real sneak peek of what goes on in the language departments in this broadcasting house, the very hub of the BBC. Now, we're very lucky because we're getting really in the way of all these people who have just come off air at BBC Persian. Thanks very much, guys. How long was your bulletin today?
It was half an hour today. I've got another one in 25 minutes.
So they've got half an hour bulletin just done, another 25 minutes and they're going on air live. So what we're going to do is just grab the presenter shortly. But first of all, what I need you guys to do is message me, tell me your questions, get any questions you want, and I know all the people to speak to, because what we have is 28 different languages, 29 if you include English, so lots and lots of different opportunities. We're now coming through to the newsroom, and we're going to be joined by Gulnush. Gulnush, you're one of the editors here in the Language Services Unit. It's more than just radio, isn't it?
It's becoming more and more television and digital, of course, but here in languages, TV has overtaken radio for the first time in this year, so we are very excited to be part of this, yeah.
It's phenomenal. So this newsroom, just give us a quick description. Where are we?
We are in Persian television newsroom. Persian has an 8-hour live operation every day. They've just started that, and it will go until late in the night. It's a mixture of live news coverage, which includes domestic news from Iran and Afghanistan, which are the main target areas, and also a lot of international news, and that's what BBC is known for, and audiences look for when they tune into BBC Persian.
Of course. And a huge audience as well, one of the largest, I know.
It's the second biggest television besides English in BBC. BBC Persian, I think, currently has 15 million audiences weekly, so
amazing.
Absolutely.
So
number.
Iran, Afghanistan, they're the main,
Tajikistan.
And Tajikistan, of course. So they've just been on air for a half-hour bulletin. We're going to grab one of the presenters, who was Nadia. So let's follow me. Any questions? Keep messaging me, because this is all about your questions, and we are going to get them answered. We are going live into the studio. Nadia, are you ready for us? Thank you so much for speaking to us here. Thank you very much. So this is access that you very, very rarely get. Nadia, you've just come off air, and I know as a presenter it is really annoying when you have the camera then put into changing roles.
It's a completely different dimension to be in front of a different camera. Yes, and I'm just preparing myself for this 2:30 bulletin, so it's a bit, we have it.
So basically, you want us to leave?
No! Sorry.
Brilliant. No. Tell me a little bit about the programme. So you've just been a 30-minute live bulletin, and your next one is in 25 minutes?
Yes, exactly, in 25 minutes.
And how long will that one be?
For another half an hour. Yes, 30 minutes.
And then how often do you do that throughout the day? What does your shift look like?
So a normal shift will start at 1:30, 2:30. At 3:30 we have a news summary. 4:30 we have a bulletin. 5:30 we have a summary. 6:30 we have a news hour. But we will divide these hours. There are two presenters during the day, so it's me and another person. So. Yeah.
So you've got time to catch your breath. You'll get some sleep at some point. Now, what's fantastic about BBC Persian is that you're you're going after a very young audience. So you're using social media, Instagram.
Well, it's a very interesting question, because when we started this channel in 2009, when we launched this channel, we were incredibly young ourselves. So when I started presenting the news, I think I was like 25, 26, you know. So I was, now I look back at my some of my news bulletins, and I think to myself, oh my God, how people could take me serious. But of course, we come from a country which has got a very big young audience, and they're all very interested, and they're all very engaged politically and socially and culturally. So we have a very good conversation, you know, on social media, and also during the, you know, programs and these years, we have a very good connection, I could say, with our audience.
And Nadia, we've got a great connection with our audience. Tim is asking, how do you cope when countries try to block your content? That's a difficult one.
Well, that's not my job. so my managers would also always find a way. But also people in Iran are very clever, especially the young generations. They would, or if it's about the website, they always find a way to, for example, break a filter. If it's about satellite, they always try to find new. And we also, I think, during the years, we also changed satellites to find, new ways to get through to the people. And and during the years, everything shows that our audience just increased, not the other way around.
A huge audience, 12.5 million viewers in Iran. That is absolutely phenomenal. Also a young audience, and you're targeting women as well. You've got hashtag Shoma. Now that is a really interactive program.
True, it is. Hashtag Shoma, are you asking about only women or about
everything? What we want to know is behind the scenes of BBC
What I love
Persian.
is about hashtag Shoma is, for example, if anything happens, for example, Grenfell Tower, when it happened in London, people were as interested as people in London, in Tehran. People were following. We had a live Facebook page, and one of our correspondents was in the city of London, near Grenfell Tower, and he was giving a live report, and I could see that how many people from Iran are following this, and these are all the audience of hashtag Shoma.
It touched so many people, didn't it?
Exactly, they're very engaged. So that's a great success, I think.
So it goes to show the story, the quality.
And also it's UGC. So, we get a lot of content because we don't have a correspondent in Iran, in any of the cities in Iran. So we get a lot of context and a lot of information from people, from just normal people in town with their mobiles. They take some picture and they send it to us, and we use it in all different platforms. So.
And of course that then gets used throughout the BBC News. Najia, thank you very much. We're going to get out of your hair because I know you're preparing for the next bulletin, and I know just how annoying it is. Thank you so much for your time. So we're going to leave the studio of BBC Persian. We've got loads of questions coming in. Meeta says hello from India. Meeta, hello to you. If you've got a question, do send it to us because we're here to answer all of the questions that you've got. And also a hello Abdullahi. Thanks for informing us. Well, that's our job, isn't it, today?
I'm happy that people are watching and sending questions.
Absolutely. One thing that is really fascinating, Robert is asking, do we report in any other languages than English? Well, we've just seen Persian there.
28 other languages, and in a few years' time we're increasing that to 40 other languages, so quite a lot of languages, yeah.
So 28 languages, 29 including English. This is, which language are we passing through now?
By Pashto service. Pashto service broadcasts to Pashto speakers in Afghanistan and Pakistan. We'll try to catch them just before they go on air in 15 minutes' time.
So we're going to get another sneak peek of a bulletin, a live studio. But this is very important because this is something that we need to remind ourselves that, of course, we do loads of various news stories, but people do risk their lives when it comes to reporting from difficult places. Tell us, who was this?
Mohammad Nazir was a very dear colleague in Kabul, Afghanistan. He lost his life in a suicide bombing earlier this month in Kabul. He was driving other BBC colleagues to work. A truck bomb went on in front of his car. Unfortunately, he lost his life. Other colleagues were injured.
And he had a young family as well.
Yeah, the young family, yeah. So that's part of the reality of covering a lot of the areas we do cover, including Afghanistan.
So people absolutely risking their lives to bring you the news. Thank you so much. I know that this was quite difficult, but it's important to remind people that it's not just the fun stories. News tends to be quite depressing, and especially from the kind of more challenging environments and countries that we do broadcast from.
Many challenging countries we broadcast from. It's not only security challenges. To some countries we don't have easy access because of political situation. Najia talked about Iran. We don't have a reporter there. Fortunately, with digital age, we have very close relationship with audiences there, and we get news from there. Many countries across Africa have their own challenges. covering, yes.
Kobus is saying fascinating, so I'm pleased that we're informing you, Kobu. And Patrick Llewellyn, impressive. Thank you very much. Patrick is asking, who are the audiences you hope are listening? Well, I guess it's everybody that has difficulty in getting free and fair and accurate press.
Yes, and especially audiences that are underrepresented in other media in their own countries. So in many countries, women don't have a lot of presence in the media. We hope to be covering that area more and more. We would like to reach young audiences, but maintain, of course, our core audiences wherever they are.
Absolutely important. And we're now at BBC Urdu, and we're really, really happy to speak to Shafi Naki Jemi. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out.
Welcome to the service.
When are you next on air?
Well, we're about to go on there, let's say in 45 minutes or so.
Right, well, let's disrupt you and
It's
let's...
very nice disruption. You're welcome.
Tell me, where are you aiming at? Which countries do you aim at?
All over the world. We have our website, we have our YouTube channel, and as well as we focus on South Asia. But the Urdu speakers are all over the world, so we are targeting everywhere where people can understand Urdu, mainly South Asia, and especially Pakistan, or the northern belt of India.
And when it comes to using social media and all this new technology that we've got access to, has that been challenging?
Well, it's been challenging, but at the same time very exciting. You will be surprised to know that the Sarbin program and all our Urdu service output is being followed weekly almost by 12 million people. I think Tony Blackburn probably will shy away. That's what. And people follow our website, people watch it on our website, but also we have partner in Pakistan, which is Aaj TV, and that rebroadcasts our program as well.
Just one quick, Jennifer saying, loving behind the scenes. I tell you what, Jennifer, you don't want to see the state of these desks.
No,
the journalists, we won't give you
don't.
Too close access.
Yes.
Thank you very much for messaging us. BBC Urdu, you've got Sarbin. Now, that is your flagship programme. Tell us about that.
Well, Sarbin means panorama. We have the same program in Urdu as radio and as well as on TV. What Sarbin contains, it gives you news about your area, about the world, about the region, and it's a fantastic program, all in one capsule. It's pacey, there's a lot of sound bites, a lot of pictures, and a lot of entertainment. People come to us not because we are first in the business, we have broken the news, we are the first, but they come to us for knowledge, news, and trust. Most of the people you will find, they will say, okay, let's see what the BBC is saying. Let's see what the BBC is showing. It's a trust.
That's one of the things that we're going to be hearing a lot, the trust element of the BBC. That's so important to our brand. Shafi, thank you so much. We'll let you get on. And just tidy up your desk, honestly. Thank you so much. Loving the fact that you're enjoying our behind the scenes. This is a real excellent sneak peek. We're passing...
Very excited to have such large guests with us.
Where are we passing through now?
We are passing by the Asia Hub, all the Asian languages, Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, Burmese, Tamil. We hope to catch Tamil if we stay on schedule.
If we hurry up, basically. I think that's what you're telling me. One thing that someone is asking, Craig, how many people work in the languages services? Would we know that? There are 6,000 people working in this building. It's a difficult one.
Over half the audiences are brought to BBC by languages, but I, to be honest, don't know how many people.
It's a tricky one. Let me get you back to that, but let me show you this. This is the atrium of Broadcasting House, New Broadcasting House, or NBH, and down there, -1 is where I sit. That's where the BBC World News television team are, and also the domestic channel in the UK, the BBC News channel, radio services like Radio 4. If you go up, on the 3rd floor we have BBC Arabic. We're on the 5th floor, up to the skies, and that's where all the young people are on Radio 1. That's the trendy people. Do you know, I don't think our passes work up there.
No, it doesn't work up there.
Did you know?
But it's interesting, talking about the building, it was built very transparent and very open, as you can see. The idea is that, Persian can run to Swahili and, get an expert. If there's news there, then, Arabic can come to, the Uzbeks and, share expertise and interviewees. So that's pretty exciting environment to work in.
It's a lovely environment to work in. It's very dynamic. We're going to show you another gallery. This time we are going to BBC Pashto, where I'm hoping to speak to have a look at the gallery, because this is the people that make it all happen, the magic of television. Now, you guys are live, so this is possibly one of the worst times to come in.
No, we're actually rehearsing at the moment.
Well, thank goodness. Reese is one of the directors here. Reese, talk to us about what happens here.
Well, in Studio L, we go through several different shows for several different services, and we're currently rehearsing Pashto for the moment, which will go on air in approximately 10 minutes. And so that's one of the shows we're doing, rehearsing for the time being.
Now, I'm going to ask what may sound like a stupid question, but there is logic behind this. Reese, I don't think you speak Pashto, do you?
Not a word, no.
So how do you communicate? Because that's quite a serious point.
Well, we mainly speak English in the gallery, but we've got the auto cues up here. We'll have cues in them so we know when we're going to graphics or when we're going to a VT, so we can keep track of it with that. And also, it's a case of reading the presenter's body language when they're gesturing towards a question or not as well. And little details help us out there.
Do you think you're picking any of it up, though?
I should be, but I'm really not, truth be told. So.
We're being very honest here, aren't we? Reese, guys, thank you so much. So, BBC Pashto Gallery, and we're going to hope to speak to Aman, who is one of the presenters. First of all, let's follow.
And also Emal, the service editor, will be in the studio. He also presents the program, and both of them are, big celebrities in Afghanistan, I'm told.
Amazing.
Although we broadcast from London, we know the faces.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for letting us come in. Let's have a lovely introduction to our Facebook audiences.
So, Emal, I'm editor for Pashto TV.
Aman, the presenter of Pashto TV.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for letting us disrupt your working day. I think this is probably the last thing you need, but our viewers are loving the fact that we're getting this fantastic access behind the scenes. It's very rare. Some of the challenges that you have as an editor working here?
Working here or working for the Pashto television, that's the main thing. Working for Afghanistan and Pakistan, where we have plenty of Pashto-speaking population, they want a lot, and we cannot produce a lot, or we don't have the resources to produce a lot. So demand is huge, and perhaps the capacity is less. Will you agree with
Yeah, that's the main problem, that sometimes we are actually BBC, the TVU team, the TVU unit, that's the main point that helps us. But the main problem, struggle, as Emal said, is reaching and reporting from the hard places in Afghanistan where fighting and troubles are happening on a daily basis.
Well, there are challenges, and we've obviously heard about one of our colleagues who lost his life in one of these difficult scenarios. It's important just to remind people just how engaging and how pressing some of the stories are from these countries.
Very much so, and on top of that, reporting from that area that a word, even a small word, could mean your life. So it's very, very hard in that sense to report from an area where violence is common, in a sense, I'm afraid.
When you see a breaking story, how do you decide what to say? Because like we're hearing, a word can mean so many different things.
It is always usually a big problem for presenters to be on air, and then breaking news comes in, and luckily we haven't been facing such a problem, but we usually get breaking news, and we are breaking within our program.
But the issue that from Afghanistan or from Pakistan, when something huge is happening for television, finding picture is one of the main issues, and also to be, as we said, to be careful with what you're saying, because people could interpret that in a different way. So finding a balance is, in that sense, very, very difficult to have a television program without pictures. So
it's challenging, but I tell you what, Rogerio says nice program, Ali says thank you so much, Sudarshan says simply wow. So you know what, thank you very much for your feedback, and thank you guys, because I know it's challenging. Thank you.
And hello to all of your Facebook.
There are many of you. Thank you guys. Right, we're going to move on. This is leaving this particular studio to go to a gallery now. And again, that's going to be fascinating because this is where...
We can catch the Swahili team actually on our way.
Oh, absolutely. Now, what is really interesting, we've had a lot of new languages, but Swahili, you're celebrating your 60th anniversary, guys. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Introduce, we're live on Facebook.
Okay, my name is Zuhra Yunus. I'm from the Swahili service. I'm a presenter / producer / reporter.
We do everything, don't we? We have to do everything these days.
Oh, yes.
And obviously it's changed a lot. World Service, it's no longer radio. We need to think past that.
Yes, especially now we have television, we have digital. So, yeah, we're kind of busy.
And your target audience, who are they? Who are you speaking to?
We're mainly speaking to Swahili speakers, anybody who speaks Swahili, but mainly they're in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC.
So again, you're going to have some quite challenging, some difficult stories. How do you make that accessible to an audience?
It's not that difficult because we have reporters in all those areas, so it's not that hard as you think. Okay, it's quite challenging sometimes, especially when we have difficult stories like fighting and things like that, but generally we have reporters all around.
You've got reporters, and I tell you what, Tim is saying, this is the BBC at its best. Well done, great work, thank you. So people do appreciate it, which is lovely.
That's cool, thank you, we appreciate it.
And when are you next live?
Today at around 7 UK time.
7 UK time. So you've got a few hours left. I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
much. And congratulations, 60th anniversary. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, guys. Right, we are now going into a gallery.
In that corner there is a TV, another TV studio and a TV gallery. That's where the Tamil are rehearsing now, I guess, to get on there in a few minutes.
This is the perfect time then to interrupt, I think. How stressed are they going to be? Hi, I'm so sorry I know that you're very busy. BBC Tamil, this is the gallery. Just look, it's pretty small.
Yeah, it's a very small team. My name is Jags, this is Juliana, our South Asia chief, and the presenter is inside the studio. We are doing the rehearsals now. Tamil is a language which has 75 years of BBC association. It started as a radio, then now we moved on to digital to TV now. We broadcast through the partner station back in India. South India is where we are targeting. And every day we take 10 minutes of TV news bulletin, important global news bulletin towards the Tamil audience. Very small team, but the latest figure shows that we broadcast to 8.25 million.
8.25 million. Is that across television and radio, all the platforms?
No, only television alone 8.25. If you include digital and radio, it comes to 9.5 something.
That is impressive.
Yes.
How much feedback do you get?
We get a lot, particularly in the digital platform. We get very good and active participation. The recent example is we asked for 3 words for Modi's 3-year regime. More than 3,000 comments. It was massive. Tamil is one language which is very active in the digital platform and the media scenario.
You've got a fan here. Sumed says, great to see BBC Tamil team. BBC is the best service for languages. Richard, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. So we're allowed to go into the studio now.
It's only rehearsal.
Only rehearsal. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, presenters hate this, honestly. I am so sorry. We've been watching you rehearse. Thank you so much for speaking to us. The magic of television. What's going on behind you? It's a green screen.
Just green screen.
Tell us.
Hello.
We're live on the BBC Facebook page.
Okay.
Who are you?
I am Yaswada Ravindran. Today I am doing the news bulletin.
Fantastic. And when are you going live on air? So we don't interrupt.
At 3 o'clock we are going.
At 3 o'clock. So we've got a little bit of time. Do you get nervous?
Not much. Yes, of course.
I think that's something that we really need to explain, that it never goes away, does it? What we're looking at, so we're looking at us in the television screen, but when we look at us for real, you've got that green screen behind us, and it's the magic of TV. The computers do something phenomenally crazy, don't they? Yeah. I notice you're not wearing any green.
No, because we can't wear, because otherwise it will, go. Yeah.
When we have green screens, our guests, if they're wearing green, they have to change. Otherwise, the background is then transmitted onto them. thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
Good luck with the broadcast.
Thank you.
Just a few million viewers, no pressure. Thank you. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this particular special and all-access area Facebook Live of the World Service. Sorry to interrupt your bulletin. I know presenters really hate it. Just some of the challenges, obviously the language, and how do you work with an English team, a technical team? How does that all work?
Well, the thing is that we as language services, we've broadcast not just to our audiences in vernacular in more than 28 languages. At the moment, we're going to be 40 with the expansion of the World Service. And what we're trying to do is that we're not just going to be providing high-impact quality content to our audiences in countries, but we also have a big contribution to the domestic audience in the UK with reporters that specialise, in the national issues or regional issues. They bring this kind of information back to the UK audience in English. So there's a balance between the output that we produce. It's not just vernacular as it was 30 years ago, not just in languages, but also now reporting from countries and regions to the domestic UK audience.
So it's making the world a much smaller place, doesn't it? It's more accessible.
It is, and really busy for us as well, as you can imagine.
And tell me, in terms of the challenging stories that you have, because obviously there have been some difficulties in the countries that you broadcast, we're hearing a lot about some of the difficulties that reporters, the emotional stories that they have. How do you overcome that?
Well, the thing is that if you go to particular areas, such as the Arabic service or even the Pakistan Urdu that broadcasts to Pakistan and some bits of Afghanistan as well, of course, reporters are exposed to stories such as explosion, terror attacks, sometimes floods, and it can be really distressful. What we do is that we have, of course, mechanisms in place that we, debrief reporters, see how they're feeling. We have employment assistance programs, but I think above all is really a conversation between, the editors and their reporters and the managers, trying to provide them all the psychological support and sometimes even production support and journalistic support so they can perform the best they can.
And when it comes to talking in different languages as well, we've heard that a lot of the people, the technical side, are English. How do you communicate the bog standard things? How to stop presenters from talking sometimes?
Well, most of our presenters and journalists are bilingual, so they do speak English, and that makes the communication pretty seamless. But in a region, we do have technical people that speak vernacular. So, for example, in Delhi, it's going to be our biggest bureau overseas, so the BBC biggest bureau overseas. We do have local technical crew and staff that are able to speak the vernacular and communicate with London in English. So we do have this profile across languages of having journalists that are able to speak their language in English.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much. And sorry to interrupt this rehearsal, but we'll wish you lots of luck. We've still got a few minutes, so I think we're going to finish in this section because it's always lovely to hear that music, isn't it? It gives me tingles in my tummy.
It's adrenaline high for us.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Never becomes repetitive.
We, Amarot is saying thanks, and we're getting lots of Peter Marvellous Tall. Thank you very much. Like I'm saying, this is access that we very rarely get. But when are we going to expand? When are we going to hear 41 languages broadcast from this building?
We're already expanding. BBC Somali television was launched about a month ago, so that's already one new television program. More Indian languages are going to be launched soon, so we're expanding every month, but until 2020 we hope to have another 12 services launched.
And are you watching out? Because we're always, when it comes to the media, we're always chasing what our audiences are doing, whether it's social media, how they're using. Any predictions for what we can expect in the next 3 or 4 years? Putting you on the spot there.
That's $1 million question. But we are keeping, close eye on the trends, and television is no longer television, radio is no longer radio. We are facing audio, and video is in Instagram, Telegram, Facebook. So reporters are no longer working on a television, product. They're, feeding to all different platforms, and we are kind of working on new designs and new language for, television and digital.
And we're going to let Jamshid have the very last question before we sign off here. Jamshid, how do different language departments communicate? Well, in all these different languages, that's a good one. Is there much communication? Because obviously
there's a lot of communication. As I told you, this building was designed so open, so everybody can, freely find each other, share expertise. BBC today is a lot about sharing. So, BBC Afghan colleagues bring Afghanistan to the domestic audience, domestic reporters, bring UK expertise to the rest of the world. So we communicate easily. Some language difficulties, but everybody speaks English in this building, and English speakers are picking up Persian and Arabic and Tamil words.
Absolutely, and rightly so. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all
the audiences.
The audience has been fantastic. Jessie, it is amazing. Jessie, thank you. I think so. And just to think, English is just one of the 41 different languages that the BBC will be broadcasting in. It's wonderful to have you along with us. Any questions, just keep them coming our way. We've got still lots more to see you. But for the time being, from me, Kasia, here at Broadcasting House at the BBC, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.